All right. This is going to be my response to Clarence Jr. Um, Dude, I don't even know why you're over here. You're not really getting that many views. You're not getting that much attention. And really all you're doing is antagonizing people. You come on Edwards and you say all kind of crazy stuff and antagonize him. You make videos and tag me and him in it. And everybody's welcome to their own difference of opinion. That's fine. Everybody's welcome to their own difference of opinion. The thing is, when you come into somebody else's space with a difference of opinion without any facts, for the most part, just opinions, and really not understanding what the facts are or what the theories are. You know, remember you basically made an ass out of yourself when you were talking about black men going out of the country, which is a small percentage of men, but you talk about black men going out of the country, and and the first thing I asked you, have you ever been outside the country? Have you ever traveled abroad? The first answer was no. The first answer was no. That means you really have an uninformed opinion about black men traveling and why they're traveling, or whether they should go out and trick or go find love or go find marriages or whatever they need to do, right? You have no basis of fact to even form an opinion. And then you just come in and pee all over the carpet. But this is going to be in response to his video about SYSBM, saying that it's a non-factor and saying SYSBM is a fringe ideology or movement, which is true. I would not say that it isn't. It is. Even amongst the manosphere, it's a very small faction. But the thing is, what you don't realize is that underneath all that is an underlying condition amongst black men. And really, before I get started on the response video, I just want to say that since 1945, the stance of the United States toward black and white just want to end apartheid or end separation and basically start integrating or admixing people. Since 1945. That's why you go to school. That's why you have the same on the workforce. That's how come they actually ended the miscegenation laws in 1967, Loving versus Virginia, because they want to encourage you to mix. And over the past 80 years, they have been slowly but surely admixing people, even over the protest of white people. The gentrification process has less to do about money and more to do about breaking up black enclaves, black urban enclaves, black ghettos, black urban centers, and mix them in with other people. That's the whole point, which I know you don't, I'm not even saying that you don't understand. I don't think you even care. So really, I know I'm wasting my time actually doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because you know, Don Calypso sends me all your videos, which I appreciate. I probably listened to maybe about 1 or 2 minutes of it, and I hear you do whatever uninformed thing that you're doing as you usually do on a particular subject, which I haven't seen one person agree with you. You know, you get 12 views for 15 views and nobody agrees with you. But I have to give you credit. You keep coming back. You got a hard head. So that has to count for something. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do a response to this. SYSBM is a fringe movement at best. Yeah. I don't know why people at me, man. You know, they want to at you in the title. Okay, it hasn't gotten you any more views, and all it does is irritate me and Edward. And when we listen to you, basically, you say you listen, but the thing is, I don't think that you do. But anyway, let's go ahead and give this a shot.
A non-mother factor, bitch. Okay, you. No.
What's going on, y'all? This is Clarence Jr. CashApp, the PayPal, the Venmo, everything is in the comments section, the chat room, and the description. Let me get something out the way for the 10th time, just to be clear. I do not have an issue with SYSBM.
So why are you making a video if you don't have an issue with SYSBM? It's number one. Why do you make a video of it if you don't have an issue? If you don't have an issue with what we're saying, why do you come all the way over to a place where you're really not particularly welcome? You're anti whatever the theory is, because it's not the first thing you've been anti. If you don't have an issue, why are you making a whole video? You're making a whole protest. You don't have an issue with it.
I'm going to say that again. I do not have an issue with SYSBM.
Bullshit.
I'm not a red, black, and green. The black woman is God.
Bullshit.
I'm not one of those guys.
You are.
I'm not.
You
now,
are.
do I love black people and black women? Yes, I do. But I don't get all up in the fit and get upset when I see a black man with a white woman, or I see a black woman with a white man. I don't.
So why are you making a video?
Like, that's not me, you know?
So why are you making a video?
I wouldn't do it, but, you know, do your thing. I really don't care.
Why are you making a video?
Like, I don't understand. See, this is what happens. Typically what happens is someone will say that SYSBM is the future, and these Z's and these millennials, they're going to be out here. The men in particular, they're going to be out here just mixing it up, just get with Becky and get with Marisol and Motley, and they're going to be going to Argentina and Russia and Brazil and all these places, getting all these non-black women. And
they already are. Okay, it's already started. Those are all, everything that we've said is true. They already are. Go on any playground. I don't know where you live. Go to any playground. If there's a mixed school, see who they're pairing up with. They already are.
Black women going to have to shape it up. And all I ever do is just say, yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's what I'm talking about. That's not going to happen. So you do have a problem with it. You do have a disagreement with it. That's how come you're making the video. But I don't care. And you go into a room, to a channel, into a chat that's opposing what you're saying, but you don't care. You don't have a problem with it. Bullshit. Let's keep going.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that's not going to happen. That's all I'm saying.
It's already happening.
I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I'm not saying, man, fuck those guys.
Yes,
no.
you are. Yes, you are.
I'm just saying realistically, that is not going to happen,
it's already happening.
It's not.
Prove it.
It's a pipe dream.
Prove it.
Listen, because I've been listening, and I'm figuring out what this is.
What is it?
Guys want this to be true because they want to drive up competition. Because in their mind, if they drive up the competition, then black women will see they have competition and start to act right. That's what's going on in their mind. So they want it to be true.
How do you know?
And so they'll say that you're mad and you're angry and you're upset and you don't like it. Well, it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do, because you're making a whole video, and this is not the first one. Ain't the first one. You've made a ton of videos about the same shit.
All I'm saying is it's not going to happen.
Prove it.
And so they get upset because this is what they think is going to be the thing that's going to, you know, make the women shape up or get revenge or put them in their place. And I'm just like, nah, bro. That is not going to happen.
You said that 5 times.
Listen, and this number I'm about to give is generous.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of black men marrying outside of the race and or reproducing outside of the race and or dating outside of the race exclusively and not reproducing at all is never going to be higher. I'm being real generous. 30%. Never going to be higher than that.
Prove it.
Never.
Prove it.
It probably won't be higher than 25 ever.
It's
just
25,
not.
It's already 25.
For a lot of different reasons.
It's already at 25%.
The first and the main reason is, and I know a lot of you guys may not want to believe this or accept this, but this is the God's honest truth. Most people of all groups find the people in their group the most attractive, the most compatible, the most suitable for relationships, long-term marriages, and reproduction. I'm going to say that again. Most people of all groups find...
I wish that he would speak like an adult. Okay, you're not speaking to children. You're not speaking to 15-year-olds. If you got evidence, man, produce it instead of speaking like you're talking to 12-year-olds, because you sound dumb doing that.
Find the people of their particular group to be the most attractive, the most suitable, and the most qualified to be their long-term partner.
Until you admix. Look up admixture. Admixture is normal, and you people date and mate with the people that they're around, that they're in proximity with. That is what happens. That's how admixture happens. Otherwise, the Irish would marry the Irish. The Jews would mostly marry Jews. The Italians would mostly marry Italians. On and on and on and on. They would have never admixed. White is a category, okay? You had like 20 separate different kinds of people that became white, and they all admixed. 20 different groups. They're still doing it. Go look at Europe. Anyway.
And or co-parent. That's just what it is. If you go to Latin people find other Latin people to be the most attractive and the most suitable. If you go to, Asian people find other Asians to be the most attractive and the most suitable. It is what it is. So that's the main reason. It's not going to happen. Listen, SYSBM is a fringe movement. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Evidently you do. You're making a whole video about it. Evidently you have a problem with it. This is not the first video you've made about SYSBM. You always come in to Edward's channel talking about SYSBM and guys marrying out, or guys traveling, or guys black guys being with anything other than ADOS black women. This is your constant beat. This is your constant beat. Why should you go to other women that you are not compatible with when all you have to do is make Keisha your woman, right? Or have confidence to step to Keisha. The reason you don't step to Keisha is because you don't have confidence. You say that all the time.
All I ever say is it's a fringe movement. And then other people get upset and then accuse me of being upset. Why? I don't have nothing to be upset about. What do I need to be upset? What am I upset about?
Can we get to the point?
Like, seriously. Why would I be upset about your delusion? That doesn't make sense. You think something's going to happen that's not. Why would I be upset about it? I'm not the one hoping that it happens. So it's like I don't have no reason to be mad.
All we're saying is prove it, which you have not. Prove it. Prove that it's not happening. Prove it. How many minutes we got? We're going to go a few more minutes because this is going to go on.
Let's just be clear on that. I don't care.
Okay, man. Let's
all I ever say is like, hey, you're telling me that en masse black men are going to marry and or reproduce with non-black women, or black men en masse are going to not reproduce or marry anyone.
54% of black men en masse already are not married and don't have children. 54%. That is pretty much en masse, okay? En masse doesn't mean 100%. En masse is probably anything over 20%. If you take the 54% that are not married, don't have kids, and take the 15% that are already, 20% that are already marrying out, have married out or dated out, all right? That's 75%. That's pretty close to en masse, sir.
Yeah, I don't see any of those things happening. Because here's where you guys are not, maybe you're being blind or just not paying attention. But if we've learned anything from black culture, is that black people don't have to like each other. They don't have to respect each other. They don't have to want to be with each other.
All right.
In order for
all right, now we're getting into feelings. Okay, now we're getting into feelings. Now we're really getting into feelings, and let's go a few more minutes, and then we're gonna get into something else, man. Because I don't want to hear him drone on about this, because he does this all the time. That's like nobody really listens. Because it's like, dude, get in, prove your point, stop repeating yourself, and give us something more than just your opinion. Okay?
For them to get some fucking going on and having babies. Like, come on now. Like, I think we know this by now. Like, there's plenty of black men who think, oh, distract, the daggle, these black women are out of control. You can't trust 85% of them, and the weave and the makeup and the raptor claws, and she's a hood rat, and she's not loyal, and she's a hoe.
See, basically, man, why do you even over here, man? Why don't you're white knighting for black women? Why don't you go over to the black women sector and repeat that? You probably get way more traction. Why are you trying to sell this to black men that know better? I don't get that.
I think we live long enough to see that a lot of guys routinely and regularly have sex with these same women that they're talking about.
A lot of guys. Is that in mass?
like, come on now.
Is that in mass?
Are we going to act like men are not reproducing with these women the same women who they're talking about? Are the women that they're having these kids with?
Is that in mass?
Like, are we really going to do that?
All right, is that in mass?
Are we really going to sit here and act like the same women?
All right, let's skip forward a little bit. So
let's just be real about that. So let's just give some unofficial numbers here. There's always going to be, I want to say, between 20 and 35% of black folk who are going to have their shit together, and they are going to get married and have black families and black kids. Always going to be about 30-35% of those people.
That's not true,
right?
Because
there's also always.
It's not true because less than black marriages or black women actually are like less than 30%. Okay, there's already less than 30% of black people that are married. And that's of everybody. There's already less than 30%. So your 35% is already bullshit. They got their stuff together. That's already bullshit. But anyway, that's a round number that you're pulling out of your ass instead of looking it up.
It's going to be 25. Well, yeah, about 25% of black America that's in the Pookie hood rat Keisha sphere, and those that are in hood rat Keisha sphere, they are messing with lower class Latinas. It's already happening, sir. Those people, listen, man. I worked in education in urban areas. I'm gonna tell you one thing I know for sure: hood rats and hood niggas be fucking a lot, a whole lot. They be sharing partners. They be swapping partners. They have a whole lot of sex. And they don't believe in protection at all. And they have a whole gang of kids. I'm talking about mama coming to pick up the kids for dismissal. She got a kid in 5th grade, a kid in 4th grade. She got twins in 2nd grade. She got a the birth rate in black America is already down. Okay. The fertility rate of black women is less than 2. So are there women that have a whole gang of kids? Yeah, but that's increasingly rare. When I was coming up, when I was a kid, it was very common for a black woman to have, or a black family to have 4 or 5 kids. Okay, that's down to 1. Your stats, I don't know what you're seeing as far as being in school, but the thing is, if you poll all these women. Okay, number one, you're in school. Okay, you teach it in school. So the kids that you see coming to school are coming from families that have children. A whole lot of black women don't have kids. There's a whole lot of black women that don't have more than 1. Lots of. I got 2 sisters that don't have any, and they're boomers. So that's what happens when you don't read. Kid in 1st grade, and she got a new kid that's in pre-K right now. And when she come to pick up all those kids, she's pregnant right now. That's what I mean when I say they be getting it in. I mean they be getting it in. They don't just have one kid. It's 3, 4, 5, man, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that's very rare, man. Now you're talking out of your ass. He's talking out his ass now. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and get to the other portion of this. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to the other portion of this before I get irritated. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, what they say, Jesus, take the wheel. All right. Let's go ahead and get this over with because people always want proof. And when you're predicting trends or predicting an outcome, you have to start with a trend. And you always have to start with what went on in the past. And so
a lot of what we do, a lot of what I do, as I go by what went on in the past, right? So you have to have a starting point from someplace else, because when this is for Obsidian too. People always are looking at something that's static, and when you say there's a trend, they say prove it. Okay, the only way you can prove that there's a trend is because you have to have a line, right? You got to have some kind of a line. Okay, and it takes 2 points to make a line. And when we always have the detractors, they always take 1 point, a static point in time, instead of looking to the past to see if there's a trend and try to get as many data points or different static points in time as they can to actually give a line or a curve or something like that to see whether the curve is going up or the curve is going down. That's the best way to do it. Whether it's money, whether it's stock, whether it's history, population, whatever it is, when you count a trend or counting a number, you have to have a starting point and an ending point. And the more data points you have in between, the more correct the trend is. But we're not going to stay here all day. We're just going to start with what we always use, what everybody always goes to, is blackdemographics.com. So now this is, let me blow this, let me make this full screen. I hope. I should have made it full screen. There you go. There we go. This is from 2014, okay? And it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look any too much different from what 2017 looked like, right? With 3 years later. Back then, it was 86% have black wives. There was one before that. I think it was 2012. I think it was 2012 or 2010. I can't remember which one it was. 2012, 2010. I can't remember which was, where 86% of black men had black wives, and the out of married rate was 14%. 94% had a black husband. Of black women had black husbands. Okay, static. 1 point in time, right? Doesn't mean anything, right? So we scroll down to 2017. Okay, 85% have a black wife. 93%, 2% less of black women have a black husband, or 1% less have a black husband. Had a percentage point move in 3 years, which doesn't sound like a whole lot. It doesn't sound like gangbusters. But we're talking about populations over time. We're talking about generations. As people die off, the numbers actually shift. So within 3 years, you have you talk about millions of people have a 1% change, right? That's huge. So if you take 100 years, you're going to have a 100% change, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Since Loving versus Virginia, you have quite a bit of change, but we'll get to that. Okay, so just in 3 years, you had a 1% change, which is significant. You also have an increase in black guys marrying white women. A significant increase. Okay, this I couldn't find at blackdemographics.com, but I did find it under the census in Wikipedia. So I may put the link in the description. I may not. Married couples in the United States, right? This is interracial couples, right? Okay, black husband with a white wife was 8.6%. Not bad. It's not too far off, right? Black husbands with a black wife was 89%, 89.2%. So basically, you had a 4.5% change in less than 10 years. From 2010 to 2017, you had a 4.5% change in black men marrying out. That's just marrying out. Okay, that's 4.5% in less than 10 years. That's significant. That's a significant change, and it's not heading in the opposite direction, because you want it to be static. That is, when you have a almost 5% change, that is not static, especially in a demographic population. A demographic move like that is considerable. It's considerable. Now, this is according to the Census Board. I do believe this is in Wikipedia also, but according to the census, and this has changed over time. Black husband with a white wife. In 1980, it was 122,000. 90, 150,000. Year 2000, 268,000. 317, 354,000. So basically, in 30 years, from 1980 to 2010, you got a threefold increase. You got a threefold increase in black husbands and white wives. in 30 years. So basically you have like a 10% increase just about every year, every decade. And this is the coup de grace down here. Look at this. Let's pop this up a little bit. You can see it. This is when they first started charting it, right? Interracially married. They don't give the percentages, but they do give the curve and numbers, and they do give the skew that you see between black men and black women. Okay. This curve from 1960 to basically almost the year 2000, which is more than a 2-to-1 difference, which is more than double the difference, because way more than double the difference. Okay, in number, it basically lines up with this almost exactly. These two charts. This is the number in a curve, and then this is the number in a chart. And it winds up landing in here because these numbers, these percentages are based on these numbers. And if you want to, if you want to do it mathematically, this is exponential. This is not additive. This is exponential. So if we take it down, if we actually take a percentage down here, right down here, it's probably less than 1% out of wedlock, out of interracial marriage. Right here, it's less than 3%. I know it's less than 3%. If we could actually go back and take the percentage, this would be less than 3%. This is much less than 10%. This is about 5%. This is when I came of age. It was like 2 or 3% back then out of marriage rate. Now it's 15. In 30 years, it's gone from less than 5% to 15%. And you're saying that it'll never happen. It's already happening. Why? It's because the United States policy is for integration. It's to force you to mix. I could go on. I could actually give a whole seminar, but the thing is, you didn't give any statistics. You didn't give any charts. You didn't give any information. So guess what? I'm not going to work my ass off to actually bring in numbers and charts and stuff like that when you guys don't. Okay? If you guys want to bring in numbers and charts to disprove it, I do mean disprove it, be my guest. Because this is not static. Okay, if static means it's a straight line, or at the very least it should match the woman's line. It does not. It's basically exponential compared to the woman's line. Look at this. Look at this. In the mid 60s, during integration, you see the dividing line. And basically, when black women have been falling behind ever since. And that's not even including the 15% of not out of wedlock, but the 15% of interracial babies that black women are having that black men are not siring. 15% of black babies are not sired by black men. They're actually sired by white men and Latinos. I've already done videos on that. And that's the other half of the interracial mixing that you don't take account for. Now, we couldn't figure out the number of interracial children that black men were having because they didn't give it, because it didn't show up on the chart the same way that the white men and Latino men did, because they were having more siring more children than their women were having. So it's very easy to actually look at that and actually find that black women are having way more children than black men are actually siring, like 1 million and almost 1.2 million more. Out of 8 million people, 8 million children, black children being born, 15% of them were 15% that we could find out were interracially born through black women. That's the other half that you don't see. That's that admixture that you don't account for. But the thing is, you want us to stay in the box, black men to stay in the box and stay loyal by making them believe that nobody's interested in them except black women. You want to convince them that they shouldn't travel outside the country for other black women. If they want a black woman to Colombia, to Brazil, to Mexico, to Africa. Hell, you can actually go get black women out of Europe. They got black women in Europe, just like you. The UK, France, Germany, the Netherlands, they got black women all over the world. It's not even counting the black women that are in Asia. You got 200 million Dalits, which are black Indian women that are in India that you can go get. You got 200 million. You have 10 times the number of black women in India than you do have in the United States, which is a reason that we have a lot of black men that want to keep black men in this little box, because once they come out of the box and they see how many options that they have, then black men may not be loyal to the so-called ADOS community that we've had for the past 200 years, and that scares people. That scares Clarence. Second, Clarence wants to give you all this bullshit that's never going to happen. It's already happening. Admixture is normal, sir. If you hadn't had 250 years of miscegenation laws, it would have already admixed. There would be no such thing as a Negro race in the United States. That would have never developed. That had to be imposed upon black people and imposed upon the black descendants of slaves. Had to be imposed, because it would have already happened. And as you can see by this chart, as soon as they let the lid off, guess what happened? White women, black men, and other non-black women started mixing. As soon as they let the lid off. You can't get past that chart. But if you want to argue with it, go ahead. But the ball's in your court, man, because I'm not going to do a whole bunch of work for nothing. So the next time you're going to step to me, either you're going to come up with some evidence, you're going to do some work, or you're going to pay me. But this is the last time I'm actually going to address you on this, okay? I know Don Calypso sends me your videos all the time. I can't tell you what he says about you, but let's put it this way. It is not flattering, to say the least. But anyhow, I just want to finish this up because I wanted to get this out. I got a couple of more to do, and so I'm going to edit this one and put this up so I can get this out of the way and go on to the next one. But anyway, Clarence, usually this was on you. The ball's in your court, boss. Stop adding me unless you really got something. I don't want to see you sit in your car or be in your bedroom and start rambling off at the mouth without any proof, because I could care less what you think, because you're always wrong. Whenever you're right, please come back and tell me, okay? When you're right, when you got proof that you're right, come back and chop it up. Otherwise, this lazy crap that you and so-called pro-blacks do, y'all got to do better. Anyhow, with that, I'm going to jump off of this BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.